Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout out to the whole LDBC. You know, there's a saying that controversy sells, and it does. I'm going to confess it that controversy does sell. But usually, controversy, the person who's causing controversy is not really the most morally upright person, you know. And with that being said, you know, the comments of Nature Nut, the recent comments in regards to Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam and whatnot, basically, what he's trying to do is justify his own demons, Basically, in other words, he's just trying to make what he's doing acceptable when it's really unacceptable, and it's just I kind of find it ironic, that he has this energy now when, this energy was not there before, you know. You know, I feel a certain way about this because of the simple fact that, like, Malcolm X was a revolutionary. Malcolm X was as they like to say, a game changer, And with that being said, he shouldn't do anything to open his mouth, like, to talk about Malcolm X. He shouldn't even, like, though Malcolm X, the words Malcolm X don't even belong in his mouth. It's like, how dare you? Like, I mean, Malcolm X wanted to build it from the ground up. Malcolm X was willing to put in groundwork. Malcolm X was willing to learn. He was willing to get educated. Malcolm X was willing to do that. But him, Nature Nut, is not willing to do that. All he's willing to do is Google and freestyle from that, I'll give you an example. If he Googles something like HIV is a host, he's the type of dude that will say, well, your cell is in balance, so that's why you have HIV. And when the cell is in balance, you don't, this is going to be the cause of it. But just remember that you are the cell. Your whole body is a cell. You're a part of a bigger cell. He'll just freestyle something that doesn't even make any sense. Now, here's the issue I have with him mentioning Malcolm X and saying that Malcolm X deserved to die and stuff like that. I've read books about what has occurred with the whole Nation of Islam thing and Malcolm X. And it's deeper than the surface value. It's not. He claims Malcolm X was a snitch, okay? He wasn't a snitch. He left off the fact that the Nation of Islam, and everybody knows that, was always in cahoots with the FBI, okay? They worked together. The Nation of Islam was infiltrated, okay? It's been infiltrated by the FBI. So for him to say that Malcolm X was in the wrong, he needs to just shut up. Like, really, this dude really needs to just shut the heck up. And I'll give you some examples. what I mean. You know, I have to give you a couple of examples of certain things that I'm like, wait a minute, what is this guy talking about? So, Nature Boy falls into this category that I'm about to name from this manuscript that I have digitalized from one of my teachers. Now, you know, he claims he is proclaiming the kingdom, proclaiming the Christ consciousness and things like that. All he's doing is proclaiming controversy for attention. You know, this nigga needs attention. And so, you know, he should feel blessed that he's getting a little bit of my attention, like maybe 1% of my attention he's getting. But for his followers, have you ever questioned if he has like the criteria of a leader? Have you ever questioned if he meets the prerequisites of being a true leader, a true revolutionary, a true game changer? Have you ever questioned that? Have you ever looked with real political insight into something like that? So, in my language, we call it malam. That means teacher. Malam means like teacher, basically. So, you know, a true malam who really defends the truth is that they're going to be familiar with both logic and tradition. They're going to be very precise in transmitting traditions. And he bases himself on clear evidence. True knowledge does not come from hearsay or bigotry or dissension or dispute. Only someone who has clear evidence and who is precise about what he says is worthy about being consulted. So my question to the reflections out there, does Nature Boy really have clear evidence, and is he precise in his words, or does he dance around his words, and does he come back with when you ask him a question, does he come back with the question? When you ask him something, does he play ring around the rosies with you? Please answer me. Thanks. And so if he's not like what I just said, then he should be refuted. You know, another thing, a sign of a leader of truth, is that he only speaks about a thing when it actually exists. He doesn't speak about a thing when it doesn't exist, you know. And I can't say that, you know, Nature Boy does this, you know. Another sign of a true leader is that he only speaks with a clear purpose, and he intends by and also he doesn't talk about other things, you know, to make things clear to anybody desiring to follow him. He does not intend by it to rebuke or criticize. So, you know, all Nature Boy does is rebuke and criticize people. You know, when you think about it, like this last stunt with Malcolm X and stuff like that. You know, come on, dude. Respect your elders. You know, that's all I gotta say. Respect the ones who actually did more work than you'll ever do. You know. And so, yeah, you know, his words, a true leader's words, will be careful, and they won't be preoccupation with people's faults. Unfortunately, we don't see that with him, you know. Now, this is the category that Nature Boy does fall into. Nature Boy falls into someone who destroys the truth, you know. So a sign of someone who destroys the truth is that, you know, although he may have clear evidence of the truth, he pretends to be ignorant and prejudiced of it, and that he is just inherent to his own opinions, you know. Also, he will be the type to vie for position or wealth, and be the type to use other people's information in fallacious reasoning. His aim will be to abuse, and, you know, and one of the masters said that the person who should be the most hated is the corrupt teacher, because the reason why a corrupt teacher should be hated is because he's gonna just see nothing but his own point of view, and it's gonna be only satisfied with his own understanding and his own illusions. And when that corrupt teacher speaks, he's gonna wrong people, and also he uses generalization when he should be specific on matters. He lets common people speak, and they may not have proper understanding of language, and he does not warn them against using words outside of the proper context, nor rebukes them. And another sign of that is that, you know, he does not comply with like good counsel, and does not give advice in the correct situation. And he also offers advice to a particular person to publicly disgrace him and whatnot. And that's what you see Nature Boy do. So, you know, I just make this video because I'm the type of dude to just check things out and peep things out, and then before I make a video in regards to this nut, I examine all the causative factors and the things he's doing, you know. And so as you see, you know, with what I just read, he fits into that category like the game Tetris, you know, when the blocks fall down, basically, in that game. He fits into a block like Tetris, you know. He fits into that description that I just named. So for dudes who follow him, and women alike, you may need to ask yourself, like, okay, why am I following this guy? Okay, what benefit is this guy doing for me? And you may need to ask yourself, okay, is it really benefiting me? Is it really benefiting my community? Or, you know, so if I were you, I would just like think twice and realize that, you know, when he talks bad about Malcolm X, and when he slanders Malcolm X and people like that, you know, you get a part of that slander, you know, that comes back on you as well, you know, that if you agree and you co-sign with it, you know. So with that being said, I don't do these videos to grow my channel or anything like that. As you see, my channel is not devoted strictly to him. You know, I do videos once in a while about his foolery, you know, and I just don't have the desire or the energy to want to devote my whole platform towards an idiot, you know, and towards a degenerate, sexual deviant, Dajjal, who speaks kufr as well, you know. And, you know, a lot of you pro-blacks, a lot of you so-called woke and conscious people are so wanting a savior, and not realizing that that savior is leading you astray. You know, there's so many of these cults And all of these cults have the same thing in common: money and sex. And with that being said, I stand on my own too. I roll solo. If anybody follows my Instagram, you know I roll solo 99% of the time, you know, because in order to like have some kind of mobility, you have to first be comfortable in yourself, you know, and you have to first examine your own self. And Nature Boy has not done that, so therefore it is what it is. He's using controversy to try to sell things, and before he spoke on Malcolm X, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Rahmatullah alayh, he should look at the bigger picture of what actually went down and realize that the Nation of Islam has long been infiltrated by the FBI and CIA and whatnot, you know. So, with that being said, Fuller signing out. Stay tuned, guys. Inshallah.